Hello, and welcome to the Entry Level Adulting Podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth, joined by my beautiful, stunning, and lovely co-host and amazing team. If you guys want to introduce
Equally beautiful and stunning.
Equally beautiful and stunning, yes. And we'll just go around and introduce ourselves really quickly, starting with you, Vivian.
Well, y'all know me. I'm Vivian. It's good to see you again.
And then Courtney, do you want to introduce yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm Courtney, and I write the blog posts for the podcast.
Awesome. And then Briana.
Hello, I am Briana. I am the social media and content manager.
Taylor.
Solid.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I'm the graphic designer.
There you have it. This podcast would not be possible without all of these lovely ladies. Son of a gun. Can you hear the dogs barking? Their moms are home. I'm sorry. My roommate has two gorgeous dogs, but they're being very loud right now. So I apologize for that. But this is for the summer series. So I'm not even going to edit that out because this is the casual YouTube stuff, right? So Brianna's the mastermind behind the social media channels. And so we decided that some things would be better, less of a podcast format and more from a casual YouTube perspective. And we thought what a great topic would be for us to discuss as five lovely ladies bringing this podcast to you was the very controversial and yet universal topic of what women do on a daily basis to not get murdered.
You know, something light to start the summer.
Exactly. But I think that it's important to talk about safety stuff and kind of also just discuss the things that we've been almost raised with, because I think, summertime's when a lot of people travel and, you're going on new Hinge dates. You got that hot summer bod you've been working on all winter. So it's just good things to go over, safety and first dates and who knows what else. Yeah.
You're talking up a lot of stuff. You're making a lot of presumptions. Like I tried. Or, the summer you enter with the body that you may or may not have started with in the winter, and one might be slightly squishier than the other. And that's fine.
There's nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with it.
There is now more of me to love. You're welcome.
You know what? The world could do with more. That's true. That's absolutely true. All right. So what I think all of us have kind of come in prepared with some things to talk about as far as like what we do on a daily basis. So let's just start off by going around and talking about like what has your experience been with safety, and then kind of touching on things that you do to avoid getting murdered, and maybe some things that like you wish you would do or could change if you could. Like, what would you do if you could change the situation? What would you do? Like, what are some things that you'd avoid? But yes, who wants to start? Vivian, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh man, I was really looking at everybody else.
I know.
That's a lofty question.
We don't normally do this, so we gotta ease them in.
Yeah. Okay, so things that I normally do to not be murdered in the streets. I don't walk down anything that looks suspicious. I will immediately stop and go the other way. If there's some strange person laying on the floor, if it looks too dark, if there's like not enough traffic going that way, goodbye. I am going the other way. This is not how my story ends. Other things. I know you guys are probably all that you take your keys and you start putting them in between your knuckles. You're like, bring it. I swear to God.
I've heard you're supposed to like hold it like so it pokes out like here, and that's just like a better way to do it.
Like it's a shame.
Yeah, so I play through every gap there is. And if I have two
like
keys,
this.
I put in the other one and I walk like this and I try to make myself appear larger.
All right, so we have the brass knuckles version or the shank version of the keys. I have to confess, I don't normally do this, and I know I should and am supposed to, but I have not been doing it lately, and I need to get back to it. So, but
I don't.
on my keychain, I carry the alarm, like the pink alarm that if you just pull it, it like makes a ton of noise. So like that's what I do. I just like hold that alarm, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I don't typically carry my keys that way unless like I'm in an unfamiliar place that it does look a little sketchy. But first thing I do is I don't unlock my car until I'm standing right next to it so that I can immediately get in and then lock it, no matter where I am, even if I'm in my completely safe neighborhood. That's like one thing that I've been conditioned to do.
I also only unlock my door. So you can try whatever door handle you want. Mine is the only one that works.
Yeah, and I think that's super interesting too, because I was talking to my boyfriend about that because he unlocks the car like on
From, like,
his way to the car from super
Hundreds of
far away. And
miles
I'm like,
away.
why do you do that? Someone can like crawl into your car, they can hide there, and you wouldn't even know. And they could just ambush you while you're driving.
Murdered.
And
Yep.
like, I think that's like super interesting because it's like something a lot of girls do, like subconsciously.
Mhm.
No, absolutely. I know in like the grocery store parking lot, I will sometimes like open up my trunk and the back seat before I get into the front seat. Or other parking lots too. Like if I know I have some time, like someone's not immediately behind me, I'll just like make sure no one's in the car, like ready to, cut my throat as soon as I sit in the driver's seat. Like I'll check it out, check under the car. Just do a little look-see poo before I'm driving away.
And on that topic, like when I'm driving home, if I notice that there's a car behind me that's been sticking with me for maybe 5 minutes, then I will make a conscious effort to not go down. Like I'll go down the first street into my neighborhood. I may go down the second street into my neighborhood. And if they continue to follow me, I'll consciously make an effort to go through other streets, just to make sure that they're not following me. And then I also sometimes like hide, like I'll go down a street and I'll kind of hide on that street and wait for them to pass on another like parallel street just to make sure that they're not following me home and they can't figure out where I live. Sounds like I'm the only one who does that.
Sorry,
Great.
yeah, damn. I was thinking, I'm like, gee, you know what though? I'm typically the person that's behind somebody else, and my whole brain is like, great, look at the speeding ticket first. And that's what that goes. I'm typically not followed. I'm not the one pursuing someone.
To be fair, I haven't looked in my rear view mirror, but what I have done is sometimes if I'm slightly sketched out by like an Uber driver or a taxi driver or something, I'll get off in a place that's not my home. Even if I have given them my actual address, I'll like adjust it so they can't see exactly where I live or which unit it is or that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I haven't really done the whole like if someone's following me in a car, but there have been times like taking public transport where like someone will be following me off the train and like, yeah, it's happened. And so like I'll like go to security and like pretend like I'm gonna like report them, but actually just like ask them a question, like which way to go. And if the person doesn't leave when I like start talking to the person, then I'll like tell that person that there's someone that's following me. Yeah.
Has anyone else been followed, like on foot?
I don't think so, but I'm always like looking at like my peripherals, like just to like pay attention to like everyone that's around me at like all times.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing I haven't been followed, thankfully, but I was on a bus when I was commuting to the metro and a guy sat next to me and started talking to me and was trying to like really weird questions and it was getting really creepy and uncomfortable and like like asking kind of like where I lived and like what I was doing and things like that. So I started pretending I was asleep and trying to like get as small as possible because he was kind of a big dude. So I was trying like not to touch him in the seats. And I just didn't want to engage in conversation. So when I got off the bus, I was super creeped out and I was like checking to make sure he didn't get off too. And like I wasn't going to be followed back to my car. And this really sweet man, and to this day, I'm so grateful to him. He followed me on the bus and asked if I was okay because that guy was super creepy. And I was so relieved that someone else had noticed and had seen and was like watching my back essentially and making sure that, you know, I wasn't going to be attacked that night. But that was probably the scariest moment.
And sometimes, like, if a person does end up asking me a bunch of questions like that, I'll intentionally like not give them either the correct
Give me a
answer
lie.
yeah, like a lie, or like like broaden the answer so that they can't really pinpoint exactly what's going on.
I'll lie like it's nobody's business. I'll make up things that aren't even true. I'm like, I've never even been here before in my entire life, so I can't help you at all. Even though it's like the same place I go to, I'm like, never been here. Oh, where I'm like, I'm just visiting. Yeah, my ailing grandmother. I'm a student, so I'm also broke, so I can't help you.
Yeah.
My grandmother died years ago. No one else needs to know that. But like, I just start making crap up. I'm like, I don't even care.
Yeah. I have a fake name. Like whenever like someone asks me like and I don't want to talk to them and they start asking me questions, I always give them a fake name.
Yep.
I need a
I've
fake
heard-
name.
Yeah, I've heard girls memorizing another phone number to give people who ask for their number. So
My
like,
childhood phone number is a landline that is disconnected. So that's what I give.
that's smart.
That's smart.
Because I know
Mine's
that
the
one
same.
by heart.
Mhm.
And my fake name is Anna.
It,
Because it's easier for me to remember. Anna's also a really common name.
man, I
How
need
many
to.
Annas
I
are
need
you
to
gonna
start
find?
getting this like dossier of like fake.
No, this is what you do. Just pick
out.
part of your name, right? You could just be Beth.
Maybe I will be Beth.
Just be
I don't know.
Beth.
See, I think because I don't encounter this a lot because I always go out in groups. Always. It's the perfect cock block. Like you can't approach me because I have a friend with me. Like I'm never available for approach. So I usually don't have to deal with anything because I don't make myself available.
This is true. And if you are, your friend just whisk you away and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I have to go.
Precisely. I've done
The
that.
bathroom? All 20 of us are going. There's 2 stalls. It does not matter. We're all going right now.
Yeah, guys ask what girls do in the bathroom. It's either avoiding you or talking about you or actually peeing drunkenly with all of your friends.
And then complimenting each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we're doing in the bathroom. It takes time. Or waiting in a really long line, to be fair. It's always long.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. But yes, so on the daily, I don't know if anyone else does this like on a daily basis. But like even when I'm putting on clothes, sometimes I'll be like, I wonder if this is gonna be in an evidence bag. Maybe I shouldn't wear the underwear with holes, you know, that would be slightly embarrassing. Like it's sad. But the thought has crossed my mind. You know, always locking the house. I mean, that's universal. It's not just a woman thing, right? You gotta lock the house. But you know, we have like rods in the sliding door in the windows to make sure no one can get in there too. And like, you know, the window alarms, the ring cameras, the like baseball bat I've been considering having by the front door that I have not purchased yet, but might, you know, like there are other things that I feel like some people don't always get.
And then like in terms of like household, I guess household and car items, like I make sure that I don't have any major identifiers as to who lives at the place. Like granted, I still live with my parents, but a lot of my friends who have apartments, they don't have any like unique identifiers in terms of doormats or decorations on the door, or even if they have a balcony, like excessive different lights, like if it's a blue light or a pink light, like the standard string of white lights might be fine if there's other units that also have that. And then for a car, like no major like identifying stickers of where I went to college or any like girly things like a pink turtle or
You know, like those
something
things
on
that tell
my
you how
car.
many people live in the house. Like, I have 2 dogs, 1 cat, 3 children. And
Yeah.
you're like, I know exactly where you go. Hockey right here. This is your team. This is clearly your child's little league team. Way to go. And then I see, oh, look at the honor roll student right at the school they go to.
Yeah,
No.
precisely.
I don't understand why people put that stuff on their car, because you're right. It's absolutely a safety issue. You can find out so much information. You just Google the school.
Just behind them. Just behind
Like,
you. Just
exactly. Like, why? I wouldn't advertise that. And then they follow you home and they know where you live. It's just like, I mean, the internet's bad enough, but like, why make it any easier for people? That's the other thing. Like, keep all your socials and stuff on private and things like that, because like you can find out so much information. Like LinkedIn alone, you can find out a ton of information about people. So,
I open the door with a knife when I'm by myself. Yep,
Okay.
sure do. It's not a little knife either. It's like a cleaver. It's a big freaking knife. Try me.
Like you're coming home?
No, like if I'm at home and the doorbell rings, I
Oh,
pick up the knife and then I look out the window next to the door through the little hole that's already there. That way you can't tell that I opened the curtains. I'm like, okay, it's just Amazon. And I wait for them to leave. I watch them get in the car, they drive away, and then I go out real quick, grab my package, and lock the door. Yeah.
That's smart.
I feel like having a dog like deters a lot of
that
people,
was my
especially when
favorite. Yes.
she's, because my dog will bark at anyone who even like, if she hears someone like walking past the door, sometimes she'll bark. So, and even like walking around like at night, I feel safer just because I have the dog. So like I'm still aware, but I'm not as like sketched out all the time because she's there.
No, 100%. I would never walk at night, especially alone, but I'd be hard pressed to walk at night, even not alone, like with my friends. Unless I had like the dogs with me. Like that's the only reason I walk at night, and I don't go far. I stay in the areas, and it's still sketchy, right? Like, cause I remember I was walking them, when my roommate was out of town or whatever. And there were just like these 2 guys minding their business, walking up the street, but you don't know, right? Like that you just don't know. And they came right towards me, right? And there wasn't much I could do because, the dogs are peeing and stuff. And you just kind of had to pray that they weren't murderers or rapists, or, you never know. And they were fine. They just like passed me and kept going. But like, that's the thing. You just don't know. And you have to constantly be on your guard. Like I was checking the cars as I passed them, making sure no one was going to like leap out and grab us. And it's tough, especially at night. It's tough.
Yeah. And also when you're walking, there's like this, you're not supposed to walk in the direction of traffic, technically. Like when you're on the sidewalk, ideally you would walk opposing traffic. So then you can see if a car is coming, because then if you're walking in traffic, someone can just pull up behind you and just scoop you up and pull you into the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how often do you guys like think about this? Realistically speaking.
Every day, all the time.
anytime I step out of the house. Literally just going to the Starbucks down the road in my very safe neighborhood. I'm constantly like, what's going on?
Yeah. I don't like having like headphones or like AirPods or anything in, because like you can't hear anything. Sometimes I will have them in just so like people don't talk to me, but I like won't have anything on.
Oh, I
So
do that.
I'll
It is
have it
off.
like on transparency mode too, so it's like extra clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's sad. It is sad that we have to think about this so often.
Mhm.
What would you do if you didn't have to think about it? Like, is there anything that you don't do because of safety reasons?
I just go walking out at night right now. I love walking at night. It's so much
Mhm.
cooler. It's quiet, which I like. Sometimes it smells like rain, which I like that smell. And I just go out and just be like, oh, just go walk for hours and not even worry about what's gonna happen. And sure, I'll go through that little cute arch in the morning, but at night you're like, this is the perfect place to get murdered. It's dark and secluded. So,
I mean,
Yeah,
building
with
off
the
of
like with
that.
the music.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Taylor.
oh yeah.
Okay. With the music, like I'd be able to like blare my music while like I'm out for a run or like even just walking around, like just not having to like worry.
And building off of that, like continuing to go any place that you wish you could go at night. Like for me, I live in the suburbs, but if I wanted to go into the city, I could, or stay after hours at my office that's in the city. I could easily do so without worrying too much about parking in a parking garage that's very deserted or walking on the street, very much to like what we've already spoken to. But even expanding upon that, just like traveling solo, I
Yeah.
traveled by myself,
Okay.
backpacked across Western Europe for 2 months, and the whole time I could not relax. I was constantly figuring like just making sure that I wasn't going to get like sex trafficked. I wasn't going to get murdered over there. I specifically sought out women hostel rooms, and even then like constantly kept like my stuff locked. I sleeping, I don't know. I feel like that was a leap of faith that there was no women serial killers, but just like even then everybody was like, "Oh, did you go out and party?" I was like, "No, I couldn't because I'm by myself. I didn't want to like get too drunk. I didn't want to like lose my surroundings. I'm in an unfamiliar place. I don't speak the language. I can't go meet people because what if they're not, what if they essentially do things to me that I'm not sure how much YouTube censors, so I don't want to say anything. But I mean, we all know where that's going. So it's like the whole time that I was traveling solo, I couldn't really fully relax because I was constantly looking over my shoulder. But traveling by yourself, I think would be, or partying, just going out, going to a bar, just to chill,
Yeah.
get a drink.
100%. No, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Like, I would definitely travel by myself and feel comfortable doing so. Um, yeah, I feel like I would just be more free to go places. I think sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in my house a little bit, not completely, but just I feel like I don't adventure as much as I would want to because I'm concerned for my safety.
Yeah, I agree with the whole traveling alone thing. And also hiking and just being able to go somewhere that I'm not familiar with because I feel like, yeah, like you said, I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself. It would just be a very like anxiety ridden experience. So I just don't do it.
Does anyone else wish that they learned like super like intense martial arts as a child and then they could just beat everyone up and then not have to worry about it? Because I do all the time.
All the time.
But then sometimes I wonder, like, does that really change anything? I don't know.
Sometimes I wish I was taller
Yeah,
because I'm
definitely
like
not.
5 feet tall. Like,
But you know what? Short people, we have a lower center of gravity, so we're harder to knock over. Once we like plant ourselves, yeah.
It's true. I
True.
definitely count on the fact that like I think I have a fight, not flight response. Maybe it's flight. I don't know, but like if
It'll
you're
be both.
coming after me, I feel like you'll unlock this like level of adrenaline and anger that like I have previously not seen. Like that's just what I tell myself. I'm like, don't you even dare. Like I would be so mad.
Don't you start hyping yourself up in your mind? Like when
I
you come
do.
you're
That's
like,
what I
that's it,
do.
that's it. Try me right damn now. I am so pissed.
I
How dare you? I cannot believe. Let's go. Let's go. You think you're hot? Let's go.
that's what you have
I don't know though.
you have to go out there. I'm like, I can take you. I can totally take you. Let's go. Like that's what you have to do.
Well, that's because I'm gonna cheat. I already decided. Whatever sharp object, whatever heavy thing that I can get to harm you with, I will do.
Oh,
I will go for every low blow I can. I do not
absolutely.
care.
Well, did anyone else's mom tell them when they were growing up? Like if anyone ever tried to hurt you, play dirty? Because my mom did. She was like, scratch an eye out. I don't care. I was like, okay. But like, is she wrong?
No.
No. I don't know. It's tough
I have to
though.
rebutton my cuffs now. Hold on here. I got all upset.
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that's-
sure.
Has anyone else taken like a self-defense class or anything, or like a course or stuff like that?
Oh, I have.
I have too.
Elizabeth, you and I went to
I
one
know.
basic.
13.
It was at the police station.
I was at the police station and they took us as like 13-year-old soccer team, basically, maybe even younger. I don't even know how old we were. And the police taught us different tricks, and I think they're like these could be life-saving techniques to like really disarm an attacker. And so yeah, I think it was definitely worthwhile, but it's also just like it's a hard balance because I also like live in denial as well. I'm like, I don't want to actually have to go to this.
Like you shouldn't have to.
I shouldn't have to. There's nothing stopping me from taking like a Krav Maga class and actually becoming like a very like a fighter essentially. But the thing is with those classes, it's like I don't want to be hit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't want to be hit back.
I want to be hit. I'm just trying to like hit other people
For safety.
for safety.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. We got 10 minutes left, guys. So is there anything else, any other points you want to touch on just as far as like takeaways?
I would like to point out that women are more likely to be, right, physically and sexually assaulted. The sad part, though, unfortunately, is though it's still by people that they typically know.
Yeah.
So as much as we are concerned about strangers, and it's fine if we are, right, it also still is some of the people that we know.
Yeah. And I would also like to take this moment to also say that, you know, guys that suffer that, like that's real.
Mhm.
Just because women talk about it more doesn't mean that's not a real experience, and you should feel like you can talk about it and not feel shame about it too, if you are a survivor of assault. Also,
I think the stats are for women 1 in 6, for men it's 1 in 33.
Yeah.
It's still really high.
Really high.
Yeah.
And I feel like guys don't have the spaces like we do where like the 5 of us can just get in and talk about it because it's somewhat normal, like as part of our reality. It's part of our daily reality. And so, you know, hopefully guys can get to a point where they can talk about it like this too.
But also know that like if something like this were to occur, please reach out to your support system of friends and family, whoever you're closest with. Definitely talk about it and figure out a way to recover and steps to become like in a balance of it wouldn't necessarily go back to like your normal life, because I know that kind of experience changes, like just in terms of sexual assault, but also like any scare tactic. If someone does follow you, if someone does approach you, if someone does pull a weapon on you, of those aspects, please don't keep it bottled
Yeah.
up and definitely reach out to your support system. And there are a ton of other resources out there, licensed therapists, a bunch of other survivors who have gone
The
through similar
police, yeah.
situation.
Healthcare
Please.
providers, right?
Mhm,
Outlines.
mhm.
Mhm. We should probably link some below. Guys, we'll
Oh
link
yeah.
some below.
Yeah,
We'll
that's a good
find
idea.
some
We'll link
and
some
we'll put them down there for you.
resources. Yeah. So yeah, we just really wanted to hop on here, kind of talk a little bit of our experiences. You're not alone if you're facing this. Like Brianna said, and we all said, you know, we will put out resources there for you. Um, but yeah, we just really wanted to come out here and kind of hopefully continue a conversation and address some stigmas and just kind of raise awareness of how prevalent it is. Because I think sometimes people don't realize, you know, this affects everything that we do because we're thinking about safety and that's pretty top of mind. I remember hearing, and Vivian, you can probably back me up with the actual scientific paper or whatever, but that women tend to fear violence, whereas men tend to fear rejection or
Mm.
failure. And so, yeah, it is a big concern. And you know, if there's women in your life that you want to support, have a conversation about this. Do it. Maybe just have a little bit more empathy for a kind of a day in their shoes because it really it's something that we're thinking about constantly in our daily tasks. And I think it would surprise a lot of guys um, just how frequently it comes up for us.
Yeah. There is this really good practice in empathy that I feel like with any situation people can use is have somebody tell you a story or listen to a story and then you retell it from the perspective of I went through this. I had this happen to me. I dealt with this. You know, it might not seem like it does that much, but when you actually do it, you really think about it, you will become very empathetic towards whatever situation that person was in because right you're now taking it as you went through it.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is just have, you know, someone in your life kind of say everything that comes to mind when they are like walking a dog. Like have them record every single thing, like walk with them and have them just say out loud everything that they would be doing or thinking in that moment if they were alone or at a grocery store or in a public space. Kind of getting like a real time of just how frequently these thoughts cross our minds. Um, because like Vivian said, it's a practice in empathy, it's a practice in awareness. Like I said, the guy that came to my rescue, and it was one of the most, is one of the safest, it's crazy because it was one of the most unsafe moments I felt, and then one of the safest moments I felt because he was looking out for me. And that's really all you can do is like look out for other people, right? And make sure that everybody's doing okay. It means the world.
Well, in closing, thanks for joining us for our YouTube thing. We're trying it. We hope you liked it. Don't get murdered in the streets. Okay.
Bye.